Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video we will be looking at AQA Alevel Psychology 2017 Paper 1 Exemplar Answers for Attachment, which you need to know for AQA Alevel Psychology. I hope you enjoy this video and find it helpful. Let's get started. Please note that these answers have been produced with knowledge of the mark scheme but have not been approved by the mark scheme themselves. There are 3 assessment objectives, AOs, in psychology. In this video they are color-coded. AO1 Knowledge, purple. AO2 Application, blue. AO3 Evaluation, red and green. Question 1. Which 2 of the following are associated with an insecure resistant attachment type? Choose 2 from the options A, B, C, D and E, 2 marks. A. Extreme stranger anxiety. B. Indifference when the mother leaves the room. C. Low willingness to explore the new environment. D. Moderate levels of separation anxiety. E. Obvious joy when reunited with the mother. A. Extreme stranger anxiety and C. Low willingness to explore the new environment. Question 2. Name 3 of the stages of attachment identified by Schaefer. 3 marks. A social stage, specific attachment stage, multiple attachment stage. Question 3. What is meant by reciprocity in the context of caregiver-infant interaction? 2 marks. Reciprocity is a two-way, mutual interactional process between a caregiver and an infant, where the caregiver and infant take it in turns to elicit and respond to the other's signals and behaviors to sustain an interaction. These kinds of reciprocal interactions strengthen the emotional connection between infant and caregiver. Question 4. Briefly evaluate research into caregiver-infant interaction. 4 marks. A limitation of caregiver-infant interactions research is that it is difficult to determine an infant's intentions, as infants cannot communicate and therefore inferences must be drawn. Infants lack a lot of coordination, and the majority of their body is immobile. The movements and behavior that is usually observed into caregiver-infant research is normally small hand movements or subtle changes in expression, e.g. smiling could be a sign that an infant is happy, however it could also be a sign that an infant is passing wind. It is very hard to tell just by observing the difference between these 2 things, as the infant is not able to communicate their intentions. An observer can therefore not determine what is taking place from the infant's perspective, as a hand twitch could be a response triggered by a caregiver's behavior, however this could also be random. This is a limitation because it suggests that in caregiver-infant interactions research, determining an infant's intentions can be challenging due to their inability to communicate directly. Infants' limited coordination and immobility make it difficult to interpret their movements accurately. For instance, small hand movements or subtle changes in expression, like smiling, could have various interpretations, such as happiness or discomfort. Deciphering these signals solely through observation without direct communication from the infant makes it hard to understand their true intentions or perspective. Anka is an orphan who has recently been adopted by a British couple. Before being adopted, Anka lived in an institution with lots of other children in very poor conditions. Her new parents are understandably concerned about how Anka's early experiences may affect her in the future. Question 5. Use your knowledge of the effects of institutionalization to advise Anka's new parents about what to expect. 5 marks. One effect of institutionalization is disinhibited attachment, which is when infants do not know what counts as appropriate behavior towards strangers and are equally as friendly and affectionate towards everyone. It is characterized by attention-seeking and social behavior directed indiscriminately towards all adults, lack of fear of strangers, clinginess, inappropriate physical contact, lack of checking back to the parent in stressful situations. Anka may not know what counts as appropriate behavior towards strangers. A second effect of institutionalization is delayed intellectual development, mental retardation, low IQ, which is a significant lack of cognitive functioning compared to peers, which can manifest as difficulties in learning, reasoning, problem-solving, concentration, and communication skills. Children may struggle to meet developmental milestones, such as language acquisition, academic performance, and social interactions, and may require specialized support and interventions to help them reach their full potential. Children can catch up by 4 years old, if infants are adopted before the age of 6 months. AQA may struggle more at school than other children and may not learn new behaviors, concepts as quickly. A third effect of institutionalization is quasi-autism, which is a set of behaviors and characteristics that resemble those of autism spectrum disorder, ASD, but do not fully meet the diagnostic criteria for autism. Children may exhibit challenges in social interaction, communication, and repetitive behaviors, but these traits might be less pronounced or vary in intensity compared to those with a formal autism diagnosis. AQA may have a problem understanding the meaning of social contexts, may display obsessional behavior. Question 6. Discuss findings of research into cultural variations in attachment. 8 marks. Cultural variations in attachment refer to the differences in attachment behaviors and styles observed among infants and their caregivers across different cultural contexts. Van Lissendoorn and Kronberg, 1988, to investigate whether attachment styles are universal across cultures or whether cultural conditions affect attachment styles. They conducted a meta-analysis and examined 1,990 strange situation classifications from 32 cross-cultural studies of attachment behavior between an infant and their mother across 8 different countries, where the strange situation had been used to classify infants as either secure, insecure avoidant, or insecure resistant. They found that secure attachment was the most common classification in all countries studied. The lowest percent of secure attachment was shown in China, and the highest in Great Britain. Insecure avoidant attachment was most common in Germany but rare in Israel and Japan. The variation within cultures was 1.5 times greater than the variation between cultures, e.g. 18 of the studies were from the USA. In one study only 46% were classified as securely attached compared to another study where 90% were classified as securely attached. The overall average findings were consistent with Ainsworth's original research: secure 65%, avoidant 21%, resistant 14%. Individualistic culture rates, e.g. Britain, Sweden, Holland, Germany, USA of insecure resistant attachment were similar to Ainsworth's original study, under 14%, but collectivist culture rates, e.g. China, Japan, Israel of insecure resistant attachment were not similar to Ainsworth's original study, above 25%. They concluded that secure attachment was a global pattern and not limited to just Western cultures such as the US. This could be seen to support the view that attachment was an innate biological process which aids healthy social and emotional development and survival, as it was evident across the globe. A strength of Van Lissendoorn and Kronenberg's meta-analysis is that it used a standardized procedure. All the infants' attachment behaviors were measured and analyzed in the same way, by using the strange situation. The strange situation follows a specific sequence of episodes designed to assess the attachment behavior of infants, involving a series of separations and reunions between the child and their caregiver, typically observed in a controlled environment. The procedure includes 8 episodes, each lasting about 3 minutes, where the child's reactions to the caregiver's departure and return are carefully observed and recorded. This is a strength because it suggests that the infant's attachment styles can be compared across different children and contexts, making it a reliable tool for studying attachment behaviors. A limitation of Van Lissendoorn and Kronenberg's meta-analysis is that it suffers from cultural bias by applying the strange situation procedure and behavioral categories. The strange situation procedure judges infants' behavior according to behavioral categories that were developed following observations of middle-class American infants. This means that when researchers interpret non-American infant behavior, it is being judged against an American standard, values and norms, e.g. an infant exploring the playroom by themselves would be classed as avoidant based on American standards but is valued as reflecting independence in Germany. This is a limitation because it suggests that attachment behaviors are being evaluated through a narrow lens that may not accurately reflect the values and norms of other cultures. By applying American standards to interpret behaviors in different cultural contexts, researchers risk overlooking the significance of those behaviors within their own cultural frameworks. This can lead to an incomplete understanding of attachment styles and potentially mislabeling infants' attachment behaviors, which undermines the universality of attachment theory. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. Bye.